Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dez, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26, so the war ain't Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What up? What's good, War Room family? You're once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table with my brother, B. Austin. What up, B?
All right. One time, it's time for NFL Madness.
Yes, it is. The bull Jimmy the Blueprint will be with us in about 10 to 15 minutes. So the show must go on. This is our 10th annual NFL kickoff special, which means this is basically our anniversary. I didn't have the song queued up, but we definitely got it on the soundboard. But this is basically our 9th anniversary. We did an NFL kickoff special on our very first episode. So this is the first episode of our 10th season, still going strong. So look, make sure you guys keep it locked right here for a very football-heavy show. And if you want to get in on the conversation, sign in right now to the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. Or you could join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 10 minutes after we gamble with Gus and open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Before we get started, make sure that during the week when we're not live on the air, you check out archive episodes of our show on our own network at warroomsports.com and the War Room Sports mobile app, also on iTunes, TuneIn, Blog Talk Radio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. Make sure you do that. Shout out to everybody on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. John Appetit for all you hungry folk out there. The Broad Street Line for national and Philadelphia sports talk. We also got After Further Review with the Mayor, the homie Savad, and Philmatic 365 on Tissue and the Tape for all you hip-hop heads out there, and a whole lot more. B, man, it's always something crazy going on, man. And this week, bad news. So our thoughts and prayers are definitely with the folks. First and foremost, the folks of the Bahamas and everybody else in every place affected by Hurricane Dorian. I think the Bahamas caught the worst of it when it was in its largest and most powerful form. Now it's kind of going up the southeast coast of the United States. I haven't checked on it lately to see exactly what it's doing, man. But, our thoughts and prayers are with those people. And when everything is done and cleared, then, we got to get these relief efforts and see what we all can do to help. So what's up with you, B? How's the week? You ready for football?
Yeah, man. But hopefully your president doesn't treat the Bahamas the same way he treated Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is legitimately a part of the United States, so if he treated them like that, the Bahamians don't have a chance.
They don't stand a chance. Yo, man, what world are we living in, cuz? What world are we living in, man? I'm not going to lie. I have not been this excited about football season in a long time. I don't know why. Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job. They whiteballing him. People still kneeling. Hip-hop stars have sold their souls. But I'm excited still about the NFL, man.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
Football is back. Taking it from a pundit level to a fan level. Our team is supposed to be good. That's what everybody's telling me. I usually hate that kind of thing. the Eagles and all Philadelphia teams for that matter fly better under the radar. Attention is not a good thing in Philadelphia. Shout out to the Dream Team of 2011, 4 wins. Shout out to the Super Bowl team of 2017. Weren't supposed to make the playoffs. So that's how I like it. That's how I'd rather have it, and I think that's how, Philadelphia franchises in general rather have it. But let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. It's time for some hot topics. But before we get into the hot topics, we got to gamble with Gus. He's back for a third season. And hot topics and gambling with Gus brought to you by MyBookie. All right, War Room, let's talk about how much cash you can make betting on sports at MyBookie. The NFL is back, and Gus Griffin is back, and he's about to drop some gems on you for this week. So if you still haven't checked out MyBookie, this is the perfect time to jump into that pool. We need you guys to sign up. Come on, help us out here. Lay down some cash on the biggest games in sports, preferably the NFL this week. Join us and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. If you guys are tired of getting that treatment from the other services, that stall treatment when it's time to get paid, that's why we urge you to give MyBookie a try. If you win, they pay fast and without any hassles. You're basically wasting your time betting anywhere else. Look, join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit up to $1,000. Just use the promo code WARROOM, all caps, WARROOM for the spelling impaired. That'll activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, get paid. That's all that's to it. And then we give you a cheat sheet to boot because we got the homie Gus Griffin on the line waiting to give you his picks for NFL Week 1. Gus, what's going on, good brother? Nice to have you.
How are you,
back.
my friends? Good. Thank you. Good to be back.
Football time, man. It doesn't get much better than this in the life of a sports junkie.
Gus, I just want to tell you that winning is not a prerequisite of being my friend, man.
It's all good because we're going to be friends and we're going to do some winning this season. So, first of all, Gus, how's your outlook on your Pittsburgh Steelers this year?
Just went through the schedule. We tend to play better when people don't think we're going to play well. I think we can get 10.
Here, man. It might be a Pennsylvania thing.
I think we get 10, maybe 11 wins, maybe 11. 10, maybe 11. I think we'll win the division. I just think people need to pump the brakes on the Browns. Yes, they have more talent than they've had. They have more talent than they've had in years. I get that, but I think the expectations have been so low it kind of plays a psychological trick on you. The team that's better that hasn't been any good for a long time, people kind of, they kind of overdo that. But again, they have more talent than they've had. They do. They do have more talent than they've had. I got my Steelers winning that division.
Until proven otherwise, they're still the Browns. Like they might find a way to brown it up. So we'll see. I mean, they're going to be exciting to watch. I'm definitely going to tune in to more Browns games that I would have watched any other season. All right, so let's get to it. Let's start with the big opener, Bears versus Packers. What you got in that one?
All right, now that's an interesting game. Obviously, it's the 100-year anniversary, so the league is siding to that oldest rivalry in the league instead of the traditional defending champs Super Bowl.
Right.
And any attention off the Patriots is fine with me. You're not going to get any argument from me on that one. Here's my thinking on that. I got the Bears -3. I think the two most stinging losses for the Bears last year was the opener when they in Green Bay when they had the Packers on the ropes. Rodgers goes out, comes back in. They should have won that game. They should have won that game. There's no question about it. They should have won that game.
Right.
And the other stinging loss, of course, was to your Eagles in the playoffs.
Double doink.
Yeah, so between the two, I think they're going to come out really, really motivated. Not that they need much motivation to play their rivals. Trubisky's made strides. No reason to believe he won't continue to make strides this year. And as for the Packers, they're the same old Packers. They've got the best quarterback in the league in Aaron Rodgers and some offensive weapons. I love Devontae Adams, but they just don't have enough D. And they've been pretty much the same team since the Packers last got to the Super Bowl. And I think the Bears are going to win, easily covering the 3.
Yo, they put no money into the offensive and defensive line.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like the definition of insanity. They repeat the same blueprint,
like,
and I think on some level,
there who has the potential to be, in the argument of greatest quarterback of all time, but he'll probably never really make it to that argument legitimately because they just won't invest in the places that's really going to help this guy out. It's a shame.
It is.
Kind of feel like they're wasting him.
Yeah, that could be made.
Yeah. All right, so the next one, we got the Jets, who are supposed to be the much improved Jets, versus the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets minus the 3. Le'Veon Bell is back. Unfortunately for us Steeler fans, he's with another team. But I don't know what else a young developing quarterback could ask for. So he's going to carry a lot of the load. He's had a year to save some wear and tear on his body. The Bills have a very good defense, top 5 defense last year, but I don't know where the points are going to come from. And so I'll take the Jets minus 3.
All right. Panthers versus the defending NFC champions, Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, that's right now. Now, when I sent my original picks to you, it was Panthers plus 3. That line is down to 2 now. So evidently a lot of people feel the way I do. I'm taking the Panthers on this one. The Rams, I think that Super Bowl hangover that's not some just headline. There's something about losing the Super Bowl. And unless you're the Patriots,
everybody has it except for New England.
Except for New England. There's something about losing the Super Bowl that just lingers, and it's almost like a sports PTSD or something. Gurley's health is unknown. Cam seems to be healthy for the Panthers, and Christian McCaffrey is a top 7-8 back in the league, and not just in fantasy. And he's trended towards top 5. Huh? Yeah,
he was a workout warrior in the offseason.
Yeah, he's a hell of a back, and so I'm taking the Panthers plus the 3, and that's actually going to be my upset special for this year. I'm going to do an upset special every week for you. I'm not going to stretch it. If I don't see an upset, I'm not going to pick it, but I'm going to do one every week for you.
Right. Christian McCaffrey is white running back ever, or are we sliding John Riggins?
It's too early.
Yeah, we're not ready to make that yet. But
right now, I got to stay with Riggins, but he's a hell of a back. I mean, the guy caught over 100 passes last year, and
it does seem like even for the better backs in the league these days, it seems like their careers are a little bit shorter. Like
that,
he might not be able to,
you know what,
push out as many years as Riggo.
Riggo
was a physical dude.
I appreciate your answer, because you did not go with the pragmatic answer. You just answered the question. I said, is he the best running back? And you said, man, he caught 100 passes last year. Okay, that answered that question.
Hey,
thank you.
Different. Definitely
he's a hell of a back.
Yeah. All right, and the last game, we have the Cowboys versus the Giants. This seems like a week 1 game pretty much, at least almost every year.
Yeah, that's a league marketing thing. You got New York and you got quote unquote America's team, and I guess from a marketing standpoint, it makes sense. Zeke is back, got his money, he's ready to go. As great as Saquon Barkley is, and he is truly special, he's going to be up against 8-man front. He might even be up against 9-man fronts all year long. There's no outside threat worthy of the Dallas defense game playing around, and this is a defense that literally shut down the great Saint offense last year, but for a poor non-offensive interference call, I don't know if the Saints scored an offensive touchdown in that game. I think this could get ugly. Take Dallas minus the 7, and I don't usually do that in division games, but it's like the Buffalo. I don't see where the Giants' points come from, except the Giants don't have the defense Buffalo has.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Buffalo, they're going to be in a position where the defense is great, but at some point, there's going to be complaints that the defense is on the field too long.
Yeah, you got to score. That causes tension in the locker room. You ask the old New York Giants in Lawrence Taylor's days, and early in that Parcells run, there was a lot of tension in the locker room because they'd stop dudes, and then 3 plays later, they're going right back out there.
Exactly. So, yeah, Buffalo, they're definitely going to need some help on the other side of the ball. All right, so there you have it. Those are the games of the week. Skyview in the chat room, he said FOH to Gus. He talking about the 11 wins that you were talking about for your Steelers. Full disclosure, Skyview is a Raider fan.
Good luck with the headache.
Good
luck with the headache, Raider fan.
Being on another team.
Huh?
I'm wondering if you feel the same remorse for Antonio Brown being on another team, especially after today's news.
Hey, look, be careful what you wish for. They wanted him. They got him. He's their headache now. If you can, I wish I was a TV. I'm washing my hands now. You know.
Well, I have a feeling, at some point when they suspend and or release him, I have a feeling somehow Antonio Brown's going to end up in New England on his best behavior, or maybe even the Chiefs. Andy Reid likes to take on those type of projects too.
That's actually a reasonable. Randy Moss was with the Raiders, so you can't take a player of that caliber.
Right there.
Toxicity that can't coexist in dysfunction. So we'll see. Right. We'll see.
They say winning cures everything. Even though Antonio Brown didn't even give it a chance yet with the Raiders, but he knows what it is. All right, Gus, we appreciate it, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, I got a column coming to you about how this whole expanded replay will not work and why officiating has declined in the first place.
All right, everybody look out for that later on in the week, WarRoomSports.com. All right, guys, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Take care.
Gambling with Gus, everybody. Get those picks in. Hey, get to mybookie.ag. Promo code War Room, all caps, WARROOM. Whatever notes you were just taking, make sure you go in, make your bets. All right, so what up, Jim? More
it's like Gus. It's like Gus picks, all caps. Gus picks is all caps.
Bars.
Biznars. All right, so some more hot topics, man. Before we get back into this NFL thing, Gus mentioned Zeke and his money, so we're definitely going to talk about that in just a minute. I just wanted to ask you guys. Cool. It's nothing new for in college football for HBCUs and other mid majors that aren't necessarily HBCUs to take some crazy losses. We had a couple this weekend. One of them was me and B. Austin's alma mater, Howard University, taking a 79-0 thumping against, I'm not going to call them hometown rivals because they never play, but they're all in the area together. Campuses are probably about 30 minutes from each other, the University of Maryland. What was interesting about that is the kid that died on Maryland's team last year, the offensive lineman, he wore number 79. So after they embarrassed us, they tried to act like it was about that. But I actually think it was the reverse. I think they stopped. I think they gave us mercy at 79 because they happened to have scored 79. I don't think they were going out with the intention of scoring 79 points because they really, it was 56-0 at halftime. They could have scored 100 on us. I think they gave us mercy because somebody probably was like, hey,
what a mercy.
It's his number. And they just stopped. But other than that, FAMU, Florida A&M University, took a 62-0 drubbing to the hands of a fellow Florida school at UCF. Now, what I wanted to ask you guys, because, most of the time, you'll get an upset every once in a while. Howard beat Nevada a couple seasons ago. Nevada isn't the same type of team as Maryland, but Maryland isn't the best out there that, there is either. Maryland's going to get their comeuppance in that Big Ten at some point this season. And I guess I'll have to take some solace in that, even though they beat the monkey breaks off us. I wanted to ask you guys, we always talk about the NCAA and we always talk about exploitation. Does that word come to mind at all when you see results like this? Because even though, it's our beloved HBCUs, going in when you take this game that you really can't compete on that level, right? But you have these coaches out here, giving the rah-rah speeches to these kids, making them think that there might be a chance and we can go out here and do this. All the while, the school is just taking this game for a money grab. They get checks for this. People out there, there's big checks in getting your ass whooped by a Power 5 conference team. So do y'all think that there's anything wrong with that situation, Jim?
I personally don't, right? I think that a lot of times also your guys want to test themselves against professionals because let's face it, these big college programs, they're not really student athletes. I think more of HBCUs. They're real student athletes. Like I went to HBCU, so Cats wasn't, and I also went to PWI. So
they're
really
graduating. They're really getting grades. They're going to class.
Yeah, like
at least in the summertime,
they're
going to class.
No, they do homework. They got a good GPA.
So it's like,
they go to the cafeteria, not to like Morton's.
And I guarantee you, our parties are still more lit. And they also don't want to bring them bands out there because our bands will whoop their ass. But that's either here or there.
They want none of that. We won that game.
They don't want that. They don't want that band smoke. They don't want that band smoke. And our parties are still better though. Our parties are way more lit. But with that being said, man, I think but also I think a lot of times the student athletes also want to test themselves against like a better competition. Also was considered So I had a little cousin that played he played for Dell State, and they ended up playing Duke, and he was with it. Like, they actually didn't get killed as bad as they probably, as bad as we thought they would.
Yeah. I mean,
that sounds crazy. But at the end of the day, though, he still talks about the experience.
Basketball
to this
or
day,
football?
like basketball.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, but that was the Duke they should have got that whooped by. I
thought
but
the thing is, though,
like, well,
No, it was Duke basketball, but it wasn't the best Duke team either. It was a Duke team with the boy that looked like he looked like one of the Dinobots, and he married a chick from the WNBA. Who was the boy's name?
Yeah, Sheldon Williams.
Yeah. So he played against that team. So it wasn't like one of the best. It wasn't the best Duke team.
Grimlock. Definitely not, because he made the league from it. So had a short.
But like my cousin was a real student athlete who graduated, and he's a working man now. But he sometimes he'll still talk about the experience of going against a Coach K team. Like, so for him, it was beneficial. Like, just to test his skills against someone at the level, because it didn't at all. But when you get smoked, I guess you're like, damn. Then you also realize the level of play as someone who's playing professionally, because as much as people don't want to admit it, when you play for some of them schools, man, they're professionals. It's the minor league.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that. I like that angle. That angle is somewhat truthful. As someone who has been up close and personal to some of those ass whoopings, I'm wired a little differently. So as I was sitting on the bench, because I ain't getting no playing time, I was seething with anger and emotion. And had I gotten into the game, I probably would have been tossed out of the game because I'm wired a little different. I think that I'm built. If no one got tossed out of that game, then I have to question whether they were there to compete, because you're not just going to put 79 on me and walk around and laugh at me like it's okay. I'm just not built like
I think
the streets is dead if nobody's dropped.
Oh, yeah, the streets is dead if nobody got ejected. But I also think it's different in football than basketball, too, though. Like, if you're playing football, there's so many moving pieces. They could have put a bean on you, and you played out of your mind good. And you still get 80 put on you.
I think those are where the super mismatches are. Like in basketball, you know what I'm saying? I think those days, you still see them
sometimes. Happen more often.
Right, and we don't see
happen more often in basketball.
We don't see the big schools just smacking, little schools by 60 like we used to see in basketball. It's a little more,
Not at all.
A 30-point loss is something that you're still like, man, they embarrassed them. But we forget we used to see some much worse stuff back in the day.
You're right about that. Even the example I used was a basketball example, which now that I think about it, you're right. it's a whole different game because in football there's so many moving pieces, and as we always say, football is won by the fat guys up front. And when you talk about like college football, that's where the biggest discrepancy is between like the smaller schools and the big schools. Yeah, because cats that be at HBCUs, they be like 5'9", like 200 pounds, and be on the offensive line.
Be on the line.
You get to them. You get to the D1 schools, doggy. They got 350 pounders that run a 4.2.
Jim, it's never more pronounced. That fact is never more pronounced than when you see an HBCU team versus a PWI team, because a lot of times, especially at a school like Howard, you get cats at the skill positions that they could probably at their PWIs or transferred in because they wanted their party life to be a little bit more lit, and they knew they wasn't necessarily going to the league, but they were good enough to play. Cool, but the trenches, our tackles be like 6'1" and 270. Their tackles be like 6'5" and 380. So
they be 380, but they be running like 4.2. Dog, some of these dudes are so big now and run so fast. I don't even understand what evolution is doing right now. Like you watch these dudes in the combine sometimes.
Not humans no more. It's just a race of Godzillas.
That's why I laugh sometimes at like people who like, my era was better because of this, that, and the third, where they talk about how their era would dominate. I'm like, dude, some of these people just athletically and just physically, I don't know whether it's the GMOs or whatever it is, but these dudes be running like 4.2s and they be 400 pounds and like 6'9". Come on, cuz that ain't supposed to be possible.
So imagine what it's going to be like 30 years from now. It's going to be scary.
30 years from now, I don't even know what it's going to be because
bunch of Godzillas and
flying, like literally.
Velociraptors.
Game's going to look like game's going to look like you from a different planet in 30 years, yo.
Yeah. So I
like
just wanted to get y'all's opinion on that, because if you think about it, like from the standpoint that you guys talked about, though, you guys still talked about being competitive as an actual player. But I still think the school knows the deal. Like, we're going to get our ass whooped today, but that check going to clear it nice. But, and while they out there getting hurt and pummeled by the 6'9", 4'2" running 380-pound dudes, y'all cashing checks that these people aren't even really going to see. Because Howard damn sure ain't putting it back into the athletic program.
And again,
so,
right?
That's a $1.5 million check.
Basketball and football is different, right? So I get it. But I also remember, like, when we played in high school, Dev, and also playing at AAU, when we played against teams that we knew were going to run us out the gym. But that experience is something that I still talk about to this day.
Grats.
But I even I remember playing at AAU against Kobe and them squad, and I was like, everybody in this team going to the league.
Yeah,
but it's still something that I remember to this day.
Real serious about his homework after that game.
I went home and started studying harder. I was like, because this is a different level, dog. I'm 2 years older than this boy. This boy I had on 360s. Like, but anyway, like, so I'm like, but that's what I'm saying. So I still like the experience. But your perspective, Dev, is coming from the school. I think they get that too. But if you ever hear a school tell it, a lot of times, like some of the smaller schools, like I've heard Gonzaga say, one of the ways they got to be the Gonzaga that exists today was taking those games and getting exposure and getting better players and like it's a process. Yeah. Not saying that the HBCUs are doing that, but I've heard schools actually say that before.
I'm about to say, in this case, it would be a long process because people are going to be like, man, last time I saw y'all on TV, y'all was getting y'all ass whooped. But no, I get that. And like I said, it's a little easier in basketball because Gonzaga is now like a basketball power, even though they're still considered a mid-major by many.
Yeah.
All right, so Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys finally come to terms. By the numbers on paper, he is now the richest running back in the history of the league. We know Ty Gurley had gotten that $45 million guarantee. Zeke Elliott, his contract, the extension takes him to, I believe, like 8 years, $90 million, $50 million guaranteed. But we all kind of know how these NFL contracts are smoke and mirrors, and he'll never see most of that contract. But even the guarantee is kind of smoke and mirrors in this. I was reading a breakdown of the contract. Like I said, let me give you the raw numbers again. six new years, because he still had, I believe, 2 left, including this year. 6 new years at $90 million added on, to the already existing 2 years. $50.5 million in guarantees, but they're structured in a way where I don't even think it's $50.5 million in guarantees, but it looks good because he looks like he surpassed Ty Gurley. They said the deal is just over $28 million in true guarantees, including a $7.5 million signing bonus and an option bonus worth $13 million in 2020. They said if he's on the roster on the 5th day of the 2020 league year, his 2021 salary becomes guaranteed, which means, if he's on the roster next year, then boom, he gets next year, and he gets the next year after that guaranteed. And it says if he's on the roster the 5th day of the 2021 league year, his 2022 salary will be fully guaranteed. Now, to me, that's a lot of trickery involved in that. Because they're saying that within the next year or two, they can still cut this dude, and the stuff after that won't be guaranteed. So this is smoke and mirrors. Like
board contracts sound like it came from Aaron's Arena Center.
Right, and it sounded like he ain't read it. He just said, look, just make sure people think I get more than Gurley. Like, period. All right, we throw you a $50.5 million guarantee. It's weird, man. When you
I think that was a way. I think that was a way for both parties to save face, though. You know what I'm saying? Like with all the nonsense going on between them two, that was like a compromise for both parties to kind of like save face and still come to work.
When it came out, Jim, when they said 6 for $90 and $50 million guaranteed, you kind of sat back and thought, like, well, then what was that all worth if they were just going to make him the highest paid back in the league anyway? So what was all the back and forth about? But then when you see the actual breakdown, you can see, like, oh, yeah, like Jimmy said, it was kind of a save face move. All right, you get to say you got 90 and 50 guaranteed. We get to write all this bull crap into your contract that you ain't going to read. And we cut you in a couple years, and you won't even get the $50 million that everybody's saying that you're guaranteed. So they said the true guarantees on this 28, a little bit over $28 million. Either way, Zeke got his bag. Now, what do they have left over to deal with Dak Prescott? They also have to get Amari Cooper done. I heard an interesting take from y'all man Rob Parker, and he was saying the fact that they didn't pay Dak yet, and they did this type of deal with Zeke Elliott shows that they don't have full confidence in Dak Prescott because they made sure they got his running back done first, since everybody kind of says he's kind of reliant on what Zeke does in the backfield. Y'all think it's anything to that? Or did they just feel like they had a generational talent at running back and they needed to pay him?
I feel like every time I hear one of these running back numbers, I think about how Le'Veon Bell played himself, because he don't have that much guarantee. Like, for him to sit out that year, like, that's crazy.
Your man playing himself too. We'll get to that after B. Austin says his piece. But your man Melvin Gordon playing himself the same way, and he ain't Le'Veon Bell, so he need to chill.
Yeah, not even good.
What do you think, B? Do you think this contract is an indictment on Dak in any way, or do you just think they like, look, we got a generational running back, we got to pay him? Because everybody talks about how, running backs, you can find them a dime a dozen, which is true these days, but you might not be able to find Zeke a dime a dozen. So,
yeah, you might not be able to find a dude that wears a halter top that's that nice. That's a rarity. I believe that it's a little bit of both. I definitely think that he is top 3 running backs in the universe at this time, and so you have to make him a priority. And let's face it, being completely honest, like, it's not even about the opinions of pundits or the opinions of fans. Like, look at the way the Cowboys run their offense in 2019, in 2018. In 2017, they run the ball. they run the ball in a league that's predicated on passing. And so they've built their offense around a generational talent. They know he's a generational talent. And from what I've seen from Dak was drafted in the 4th round. His production to me is that of a 3rd-round quarterback. So maybe he's one low, 3rd, 4th round. You can find who and what Dak is in the later rounds. And so, based on timing, he probably is going to get way more money than he should. But I don't think they're going to reset anybody's market with Dak, and I don't think he will end up being a top 5 QB. I could be wrong, but
I think it is Dallas, but I think it's impossible that they reset the market with Dak Prescott's contract. I was cracking up because Skyview chat room, he on one tonight. First of all, out of the blue, he was like FOH to the judge in the Meek Mill case. He's like, yeah, I'm watching a documentary. He's wearing a Sixers uniform, so it's sports related. Skyview, I actually watched that documentary for the first time today as well. So I'm like FOH to that chick too. Then he said Sportk, SPORTC. Smart people only read the contract. Zeke ain't smart. Because it ain't. Yeah, it's a little different than what we're thinking. I mean, he still got big money no matter how you slice it. Especially for a running
I wouldn't
back
even say he didn't read it. My thing is, he was in a situation where what was he going to do? Like, he had to take it at this point. Like,
yeah,
so,
I mean,
because another thing is this, right? You did the research to break it down. 99% of people only read the headline. So, like,
right.
No one even knows what
but
you're
that's
saying.
the same thing. Everybody, you got to make appearances, because if you work, if you have a career, if you work a job or whatever, somebody asks you how much money you make, you ain't gonna tell them how much money you make after taxes. So you gonna give them the big number. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna give them the big number that you've never seen in your life. So that's just the way of the world, man. You're gonna try to come off as well as you can, and he had to come off with that 50. All right, so we'll see. They're saying they're going to throw him right in the mix. They're asking Coach Garrett about his quote-unquote pitch count for this upcoming game. Because at first I saw reports that he might get 8 to 15 touches. And I'm like, well, the only reason that y'all can even say that is because y'all playing the Giants. If this was a bigger game, if this was a better team that they were playing, they were going to throw him in there, and he was going to be the usual part of the game plan that he always was. But I think they disrespected the Giants a little bit, talking about pitch counts in the first place. They're like, we playing the Giants, so we can ease him into the flow. So we'll see how that goes. What else happened this week? Y'all, man, Jared Goff, he got broke off. Jared Goff,
something proper.
He got to get, now these quarterbacks be getting some real guarantees out here, and he got a guarantee. They had to make sure, since he was a pick ahead of him, he got a guarantee, and he actually made a Super Bowl appearance. I'm not saying that, I'm not one of these fans that act like Carson Wentz doesn't have a Super Bowl ring, because if Carson Wentz isn't the leading contender for the MVP, and the Eagles aren't 11-1 or something crazy like that when he gets hurt, then 2017 never even happened. So I kind of
make the Super Bowl
to hear people like exclude him from that Super Bowl mix just because he wasn't actually on the field. It's crazy how fans talk these days. They act like dude played 2 games and got hurt. Like, he had them in the number 1 seed. Because remember, when Foles came in, they weren't exactly burning it up for the remaining games of the regular season. So you got to give that man props on what happened that season. But Jared Goff actually made an appearance in the Super Bowl. He was the number 1 pick, while Carson Wentz was the number 2 pick. So they had to make sure they gave him like $2 million more in guarantees. So his contract, my numbers just went away from me. His contract is something like $124 million with $110 million in guarantees.
134 with
110. Okay. Now I couldn't find a breakdown of that, so I don't know if it has smoke and mirrors like Zeke's contract.
It ain't like that.
But
it ain't like that. They know white men read.
Unlike what you just said, B, with Dak Prescott, they have kind of reset the market with Jared Goff. What's your thoughts on this contract?
Again, you got to go with the market and not, what your personal feelings are about overpaid athletes.
Do you think he can ball?
Yeah, I do. I think he's right on the cusp of that second tier to third tier. Sometimes it depends on what game you're catching him. I think he's a quality starter.
Call boy quality. Well, he last season he had 4,600 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, and led the Rams to a Super Bowl appearance. They couldn't get any offensive production or even score in the Super Bowl, but that's a whole different thing. I mean, shoot, when you think about it, the Patriots couldn't either. The Rams defense did what they were supposed to do. So that's the only indictment right now that the talking heads and the fans have with Jared Goff, because they did get to the Super Bowl, but they couldn't do anything in the Super Bowl. But, yeah, I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, and he has a very good offensive-minded head coach. He doesn't have Jeff Fisher up there almost ending his career. So,
before it began. Jeff Fisher, that thing is real, man. Like, Jeff Fisher makes guys look like they cannot play football. Steve Air McNair is probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and we just don't get to see that because of Jeff Fisher. If he's that good, what would he have been with, like, Andy? No, I'm serious. What would he have been with, like, Andy?
No. I understand what you're saying, but even in that situation, at that time, Jeff Fisher wasn't an absolute dinosaur yet, and the stuff that they were doing was still being done in the league. So, that could be the situation. McNair could be way better than we think he is, or he could have been exactly what he was. The knock we have on Fisher now, when you come to the later days with, like, Foles and Goff and those guys, is that he was still trying to do the exact same stuff he was doing 10 years ago.
Game passing by, dog. Game passing by.
Right. So that's the thing. He was still
running the wing T.
He was still
he was
running
like,
plays
run and
that
shoot.
Steve McNair. McNair could come out of the grave and run the offense for the Rams a couple years ago.
My man was running student body left, student body right.
Man.
Die.
Yo,
die.
I'm about to say,
your
man Jeff Fisher be out there running 34 dives with the fullback.
Oh,
like,
what?
34 dive, 23 dive, 28 pitch. Like, come on, man.
Yo, you know what though? You know what? We shouldn't even be really mad at QBs and resetting the market and all that talk. My man Jimmy Garoppolo got big money for 7 games in a pornography movie. Like, come on, man. So he's really the one that reset and messed all of this up, because he got paid bread for 7 games in a blue movie. Like, he's it. He's the guy that ruined it.
We'll see. Skyview was like random. DeMarco Murray only played 7 seasons. That's about right for a running back. He was overrated from the door, so
that's about right. But that's about right for him. He couldn't turn left or right when running.
Yeah, so, he was treated. He was like Herschel Walker 2.0. Like, no hip game, Paul, that at all.
Yeah,
but
my man could only run in the direction he was pointed.
All right, so we got one more thing I want to talk to you about. Well, actually 2 before we take some calls. LaShawn McCoy was cut by the Bills. Came as a surprise to a lot of people. I guess I wasn't surprised because I had kind of heard the rumblings a week earlier. And, I kind of knew that it had a great chance of happening. They showed you by some of the pickups they made in the offseason that it was possible that they were going to move on. But they cut him, and he landed in a soft spot. He was cushioned by the belly of Andy Reid. somebody he's very familiar with, somebody he trusts, and somebody
see what you did
whose
there.
team is on the brink of winning a Super Bowl if they could just get over those last little bit of mental humps, not even, performance types, just mental humps, jumping off sides at the wrong time. But
so basically, they need to get over Andy Reid being their coach.
Pretty much, 'cause Andy's just not a finisher. Andy's a hell of a coach, and you will not call him, Mariano Rivera at any point.
He will misuse the challenge flag.
So what do y'all think? I mean, I think it's a great pickup for the Chiefs.
I do too.
I think it's a great landing
both
spot
all parties involved.
Right. Like, dude just fell out of a bad situation where they basically disrespected him and had a chance to get a ring. So can't complain.
I don't. And I'm going to take the GM.
He drafted him.
Yeah, the GM perspective on this, it's a win for everybody because he's 31. He just came off his first real bad year. Alibi that bad was due to injury. So now you're like, okay, is he going to heal and return to Shady of old? And this is just an anomaly? Or is he going to turn into Sean Alexander after dude turned 31 and he disappeared from Earth like Bison Daylight? So it's like you don't know what you're going to get with a 31-year-old Shady McCoy. So what they were also looking at is my man was slated to make damn near $7 million this year. I'm not paying a $7 million, almost $7 million salary to a 31-year-old back coming off of an injury. I'd rather get that done in the draft and drop him, and he ends up landing it with the Chiefs. Now, if he's 85%, 90% of what he was,
but they
came up.
They probably don't even need him to be though, because they have other running backs there. Like they didn't bring him over there like, oh, you're gonna be our man. Like Shady's gonna be the change of pace. He's gonna catch some passes out of the backfield. He's gonna be depth for that Kansas City team that's already dripping with talent. They only had to pay him $4 million. Like Jimmy said, I think it's a great move for all parties involved. He could end up with a Super Bowl this year. But we shall see.
I think he could. I think he could.
They can keep their ass on the right side of the line of scrimmage before the snap. Maybe he can get a Super Bowl. Speaking of Shady, his former team, the Philadelphia Eagles, reportedly made a trade offer for holdout Charger running back Melvin Gordon. The Chargers have totally just told Melvin Gordon, like, you're not as good as you think you are. Kick rocks. You have permission to seek a trade. We are not paying you what you're asking for. Like, his play seemed kind of weird, too. And we mentioned Le'Veon Bell earlier. Like, if you thought Le'Veon Bell played himself when he was clearly the best running back in the league, then what the hell is Melvin Gordon doing right now? They either about to force his hand, he about to suit his ass up, or he's just going to sit on the sidelines looking stupid because the Chargers, they don't seem like they're trying to budge on this. But they want more for him. The Eagles tried to get over. They tried to offer Jordan Howard and a swap of some mid-round picks, and the Chargers told the Eagles FOH.
I've always thought.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it shows that Howie is cool with the Eagles running back situation. They're kind of deep at running back right now. But he wanted to see, maybe I can, since, we know that this isn't going to end well between them. Maybe they're desperate. Maybe I can just throw them a weak offer. They said no. Howie moved on. Back to business as usual.
Yo, man.
Jordan Howard, his feelings shouldn't be hurt because
stay away from the crack, which I think is pretty good advice. Unless you can manage it socially, Dan. If you can manage it socially, then go for it. But not a lot of people can,
Yeah. So, because somebody mentioned to me like, oh, Jordan Howard knows that we tried to trade him now. He's going to be in his. He can't afford to be in his field. He's on a 1-year contract. He's in a contract year, so he got to go ball out no matter who he's playing for, and no matter who tried to trade him. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Hey yo, hey Tobias, we be with you in a minute, man. We know you about to get fired, man. Calm down. But Melvin Gordon is drunk. To put it in Philly colloquialisms, Melvin Gordon is drawing. And I guess these running backs are like, look, let me see what I can get because I'm gonna be out of here real soon.
Mm-hmm.
Turning into deep. They also turning into deep.
I guess that's it. He has a very overinflated opinion of his value to the game, to the league, to himself, to his family. Like,
I mean, he's tough.
I don't even know that he's a top 10 back.
Nah, he's a top 10 back. He's a top 10 back.
Top 10?
He can't name 10.
You mad? You wild disrespectful right now.
Yeah, we ain't saying all that now. All right. Compile
he only got one season.
You can't name,
back, right?
You can't name 10 better backs because
he's had.
You might not be able to name 10
he's had
some
injuries. So, when healthy, he's a very, very good running back. You ain't going to name
the
top
greatest
10.
availability.
He's in the top 10.
It's availability. The greatest ability is available.
Yeah. But, he in the 10. But yeah, he's still playing himself at the end of the day, no matter how you slice it.
To
see
I'm gonna do
how that works on him. See how he tried to get his dupe on. And I'm cool with that because it's basically showing you that they're all in again for this season and how he's willing to do
and get your money, little duffel bag, boy.
Skyview said Melvin Gordon is still living off his college days like he Al Bundy or somebody.
It's a lot of
only Melvin up bang with his hat.
Harold Melvin was a thief, yo.
Harold Knowles? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's wrong dude.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Nose, brother.
I was thinking about Frankie Beverly. Frankie Knowles now because she Brody that song.
Harold Melvin was playing Teddy Pendergrass like $5 an hour, and Teddy Pendergrass was the lead singer.
Right. Nobody in Philly like Harold Melvin. All right, so let's go to the phone line because Tobias is mad.
Teddy
calling in from Arizona. What up, Tobias? What's going on?
Man, I don't need Rock Nation to pay for my unemployment. How long y'all been taking, man?
You better grab you a MAGA hat.
I know, man. Here's a couple of things. First, before I yell at my Buccaneers, Zeke Elliott, the white girls are back now. Zeke, he about to be on a yacht with Chandler Parsons. Somehow he's still in the league, and Blake Griffin, he's gonna be on the yacht now.
Kyrie Irving,
you know why Chandler Parsons still in the league? Because Chandler Parsons still in the league because those contracts are really guaranteed. So people like, hey, might as well not waste the money. Might as well at least have a practice dummy for all this money we paying him.
Y'all talk about
I don't even think Chandler Parsons plays anything other than Rico Hines pickup.
I haven't seen him play basketball in a long time. Go ahead, Tobias.
Hey, y'all talk Melvin Gordon, right? The Chargers is the one franchise you don't want to hold out on. They got the rookie scale, and they still got cats holding out because they try to short them on that. That's the wrong organization. He should have taken
the scale. I'm not going to front, though. The scale is really unfair to running backs because their shelf life is so short. Like, they could be really done from their prime by the time they're out of their rookie contract.
Saquon.
So I can see why they're pushing so hard at this point. Yeah. Because they're the forgotten position in the league at this point. So, the scale is not fair for them cats.
I know people like Fred, they say, like, running backs are a dime a dozen. Couple things on that. One, they're a dime a dozen. How the hell did Tampa Bay Buccaneers start Peyton Barber? It could be a 10-yard hole.
Like if they're a dime a dozen, why we ain't got one?
Hey, he could open a 10-yard hole for the guy he only gets two. But also Zeke Elliott, Saquon, even though the Giants. Yeah, because even though I think Saquon shouldn't have been drafted by the Giants because they're in the rebuild and they're wasting his prime years, but him and Gurley, those are playmakers where you have to account for the run and the pass. Yeah, they talk about C.J. Anderson, but they knew they weren't season. See, the Patriots knew they weren't season C.J. Anderson in the pass game. But Todd Gurley could count for him in the pass, in the run. And that's the difference that people are missing out on. That when they talk about these top running backs shouldn't get paid, because that is a matchup nightmare. Now you got a linebacker guarding them. And name me a linebacker, whoever was able to hold Saquon or Todd Gurley, he was healthy.
No one.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But you know what though?
Bucks still need one though.
You ain't lying. I'll gladly pay for Zeke. Hey, we got plenty of white girls that got that. I can fly out there for him. Get Zeke. but you know what though? Here's the thing. Y'all talk about Jared Goff also. People don't like sometimes with quarterbacks you're paying for potential, and it's like before that Chiefs game he lit up the Chiefs. But I saw this on Twitter where after that Chiefs game he only had 7 touchdowns, 8 picks, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in the playoffs. Good team. Great coaching. And so I'm not knocking him. You take the money. But I just think that sometimes the rookie scale got it where he got paid quarterbacks based on potential. Hence, my favorite quarterback, Jimmy G. Somehow they say he's rusty. The dude's always been damn rusty. He ain't played 10 games yet. They talk about he's rusty. But you have to pay him because it's so hard to find one and to be hard to get in a position to find another quarterback. Plus, he has a great coach in Sean McVay.
Yeah, that's true. I spoke about that earlier. He has an offensive-minded coach out there, pretty much making everybody look good. It's crazy to see that, though. You know, you see coaches having success that came from Washington, and then Washington still can't get off the schneid themselves, but their staff goes everywhere and becomes successful.
And it's a lot of times it's luck where you go to also because Mahomes it's like somehow Cliff Kingsbury thought he worked with Mahomes, but somehow he was under 500, one of the great quarterback talents ever. But yeah, he gets a job, but a brother can't get a job to save his life, you know. But anyway, like my Buccaneers, right? At worst, not at worst, at best, I think they will finish 7-9. Because if y'all watch that Cleveland Browns preseason highlights, where 5 sacks within the first quarter and a half, the offensive line's a sieve. You got guys that no one can pick up on a bye week of fantasy football on a run game, and the defense, they're still get this. JPP ain't been cut. He got $10 million on the books. You ain't salary cap help. The dude broke his neck and he still got him on the roster, hoping he come back in December. What the fuck? What sense this makes? What sense this makes? And by the way, and we need a pass rusher. We drafted a middle linebacker. I know the middle linebacker gonna be good, but you gotta get the pass rusher. No one. Hey, Ray Lewis is probably the greatest middle linebacker ever seen. The Ravens still took John the same draft ahead of him at left tackle. Derek Brooks on my Bucks was drafted the same year as Warren Sapp. Guess who went first? Warren Sapp. You know. It's like
you gotta get the pass. The pass rush is very important on defense. Like,
hey, here's the thing. Also, they talking about
if you have a great pass rush and a bad secondary, you can still be successful. If you have a great pass rush and a great secondary, you can be dominant. So it all starts.
Kansas City, because Kansas City had a great pass rush last season and a bad secondary. That still get you games because you can affect the quarterback. But if you're relying on some guy named Carl Nassib, whoever the hell that is.
Before you go, Skyview said in the chat room, he said Epiphany, Kaepernick fits the Buccaneers. everybody trying to put Kaepernick everywhere. We haven't given up on Jameis yet, Skyview, so they don't need Cat. This could be Jameis's breakout year.
Hey, Tobias, who Alabama play this week?
Hey, if I was on church school, me and my lady going to brunch this weekend. But can I touch on something about this? Like, now I know my quarterback ain't been great, right?
Hurry up, man. There's other people waiting, man.
Maybe it's taking 45 minutes. But anyway, here's the thing. Like, my quarterback hadn't been great, right? But I think also people are talking about, he has all these targets. But what's good is all those targets if you can't run the ball and you can't block. And I've always said this. You can replace this guy. But if you still got the same team structure, you're still gonna go nowhere. Because I said it's not go.
Yo, at what point are you gonna give up? At what point are you gonna give up on this dude, man? Because I see you give him more. You give him more excuses than anybody else. I mean,
hey,
but
see, the thing is, but hold on. But see, the thing about excuses, like 2 years ago, right? They lost like 11 games. But 5 of those games, they gave them the lead, and the defense blew the lead. What can you do when you have a historically bad defense?
No, but what I'm saying is
you
don't seem you don't seem to give any other young quarterback any of the same excuses that you give him, which is why Jimmy G about to light y'all up for about 5 touchdowns.
They have better teams.
You look way better than Ball.
Yo, Tobias craps on every young quarterback. I don't think y'all pay attention. Tobias craps on every young quarterback in the league.
Mahomes.
Which is why Jimmy G about to light y'all up.
MVP. Except for the MVP.
Jimmy G hasn't even played yet, and he's being anointed. That's
he gonna light y'all up.
Thing. Problem is because
he gonna light y'all up this week.
That's why. Because the defense sucks. Hey,
he about to light y'all up.
He's better than Joe Flacco, whack ass.
Probably. Probably. What I care.
Hey,
right,
Dan, hold on. Watching football and the Broncos suck again, but once they win a Super Bowl, he's gonna be like, "Hey, man, the movement worked out."
No, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't said nothing last time they won. All I'm gonna say is Jimmy G about to light y'all up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, when he throws 5 like he did in practice, they're gonna make all the excuses for him again. Talk about he's rusty.
Just because of all your slander, you slander all young quarterbacks except yours.
Y'all can argue in the chat. Yeah, this is the make or break year for me as far as I'm concerned with Jameis. Like he can't keep living off the potential tag. We got the homie Naj on the line from out GA. What up, Naj? What's going on, man?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm good. How y'all boys, man?
Pretty good, man.
Oh, man, we're pretty good. How about?
Ready for some CTE.
Hey, I got some homework from the little brother, so I'm feeling good, man. Little bro put me on somebody named Rome Streets, so I've been listening to that all day. So as old dude, like it feels good to find some hip hop that you can listen to a little bit. You know what I mean?
Check that out.
Rome Street?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all on him yet, but yeah, buddy, he's kind of nice with it. But
where are you from? Not that it matters. But...
Yeah, New York.
Okay.
One of them bar type dudes.
But I asked that because cats got bars everywhere these days.
Right,
but
right.
I was just looking to see like what kind of accent I'm gonna expect. Like a lot of our Southern supporters ain't gonna like this, but even when you got bars, sometimes it irks me to hear that accent in music.
Hey, bro, look,
I'm a
man,
big fan.
No, man. It
took me a while.
It depends though, because sometimes I enjoy it. I find it actually entertaining.
It's
like
funny.
T.I. wouldn't be T.I. if he ain't had that Southern accent.
You think he wouldn't be T.I. if he finished his words? If he said the end of the word. No, but that's what I'm saying. It took me a while with him, but now,
a certain age, we can't keep playing throwbacks on our streaming all the time. We got to get on some of the stuff young folk listening to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I've even been, and Jimmy, this is hard for me. I've been on some of the mainstream young folks stuff lately because, when I'm in the car with my now 8-year-old, I let them listen to that Sirius station, the Heat, because they play current stuff, but they bleep out the cursing. So, it's a perfect station to listen to. Because usually on Sirius, everybody's just letting loose. So, I've been listening to a lot of The Baby and all that stuff.
No, the young boy right now, Naj.
I've been trying.
That I listen to and I like his album is YBN Cordae.
Okay, I have to look him up.
YBN Cordae. He has a new album and he's like I guess you would call him mainstream, but his album is pretty dope. It has that the old school feel, but he's a young boy. But there's some out there.
Give me that feel like I just rolled something up. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me that feel.
There you
like
go.
Hip hop with it, like that. But hold on, man. Like, I don't want to be the guy who comes behind callers and says they're wrong, but I am that guy. So, like, okay, like people aren't paying these quarterbacks because I think he got potential and he might turn into something. It's because of this. The NFL has made it to where we see Black Monday every year. They made it to where it's a business that operates on the idea of short-term success or you're fired. So within that framework, if you're a coach and you got a guy who's adequate, not even great, just adequate, you're forced to keep him because if you try to go through the process of finding another quarterback or finding a better one, you won't have the job security around to be there for it. There's a few coaches who have that kind of, security, but for the most part, nobody does. So basically, you're telling the org, hey, I can win with this guy. I can do this and that. So that's how you end up with Jared Goff and Dak and all these guys who will get ridiculous contracts. And, I mean, just honestly, if you were the coach, what would you do? Like, that's a hell of a risk to take in a market that doesn't really, reward people for taking the proper risk, honestly. In the Pat Mahomes situation,
I mean,
Andy had that security, so he was able to pull it off. But go ahead, Jim.
Outside of Andy and Belichick, who really even has job security outside of those two?
Right. So that's why you're in such a difficult situation where guys got to say, okay, we'll take this mediocre guy and I'll do everything I can to win with him within my system. So, I mean, it is what it is. Do I think Jared Goff is good? No. Do I think he's a mediocre to average quarterback? Yes. And in this point in time in the NFL, if you got, pieces around it, then, people will roll with that as long as you got pieces around it.
What a time to be alive.
Y'all killing my man Jared Goff. I think he's better than that. he's not top of the league. Should be the highest paid quarterback.
Pre-Gurley injury, Jared Goff. Gurley injury. That'll tell you everything you need to know about Jared
Goff is close to being a piece of feces. He's like a
you're killing Jared Goff.
Because I agree with that. Like, when Gurley is there,
reads into his helmet. Like, go ahead, my bad.
I think with Gurley there, he's a whole different player. Without Gurley there, he plays kind of girly, but don't even ask how. But the thing is, I just think that it's interesting that you said that because now it's got me thinking. There's only 2 coaches in the entire league with job security. That's kind of crazy. I never thought about that. Like, there's literally 2 guys. Coaching is crazy.
Right, because what are you selling in the NFL? You're selling parity and you're selling the idea we'll get them next year, and if we retool the whole, GM or the coach or whatever, you can sell your fan base on the chance that you have a shot at the playoffs or being relevant.
Yeah.
So it's that part of the process too. You see what I'm saying? Selling doomed franchises and fan bases, the idea that they got a shot.
It's crazy. It's crazy taking a job knowing like, I'm taking this job just until I get fired. Like, I've taken a lot of jobs in my life. I don't think I've ever taken a job where it's like, they're going to fire me eventually, but let me get this money.
So stay on the conference calls with other coaches in case somebody else gets a gig and you get pulled onto their staff if you lose. So, that's why they do all the breaking bread and a friend of a friend and all of that. That's why people stay in those circles because you never know, it might be you. And former head coaches, you see it now. Some guys are being like, what's my man who used to run Tampa Bay for that 1 year? He's now like a wide receivers coach, from head coach to wide receivers coach. Like that's.
What was his name? Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he's at that level. It might not be wide receivers, but it's a similar level of coaching. What else did y'all get into, man? That was kind of. Well, I guess Zeke. I didn't think Jerry would be the one to back down. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, about Zeke contract.
Yeah, I didn't think Jerry would be the one to back down. But Jerry, kind of looked at things realistically and said, okay, if I don't have him and we don't make the playoffs or our season gets a little, rough because we don't have him, then, it's a wasted season. But if I give him this money and more than likely 2-3 years will end the contract, he'll never see the full life of this deal. But he got a boatload of guaranteed money, so it works best for him. You're paying for prime anyway with running backs. When they turn 29, 30, you're not going to pay them. So why the hell wouldn't running backs try to force their hand now and get paid? Kind of sad how Melvin Gordon's situation went, but Zeke did the right move. I didn't think he would win. I thought Jerry would wait him out and eventually Zeke would cave, but it went the other way. So salute to, his agent for getting that done.
Yeah, it was crazy because, like I said, once the deal came out, I'm like, and what was all the public posturing for if they were just going to, make him the highest paid running back anyway? And you could have just done that from the door. All he wanted was to have at least a number, a facade that looked better than Todd Gurley's. You did that in the 11th hour. You could have done that a long time ago and had the dude in camp. Maybe they wanted him to get that rest. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's negotiation no matter what. So, he was doing what he was doing in the media to try to get a stronger hand on it. But Zeke held firm, and it didn't work. So we'll see. Melvin Gordon appears to be holding firm, but it ain't looking good for him. Looks like he's going to miss game. But when the Chargers roll out a little Eckler as a feature back and he gets broken in half, Phillip Rivers is going to be in that front office, filth, not curse words, but angry Christian 15 kids guy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I kind of think the Chargers are playing that the wrong way as well, because the Chargers are one of those teams that have this like now or never type window. So I don't know if they can afford to be like that with one of their star players, but maybe they just just telling him like, you're really not that good. Maybe they think he's as good as B. Austin thinks he is.
Right. Now, I know y'all are probably talked about AB. So, okay. So if you're AB, the flip out time would be after week 1, after week 2, after the money's already, been deposited. I don't know why he's pushing this hard right now as opposed to waiting a little bit. Right. But yeah, AB may be a little off. But overall,
especially like after the money deposit and after like 2 good games where you showed them that you need me. Yeah, I don't know.
Remember, they're not trying to win though. So this is a circus. They're just selling tickets. If you're doing a full rebuild and you're getting young players and picks, and then you're telling me you trade a bunch of picks to bring in a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver, okay, you're not really doing a rebuild. You're using him to sell tickets because it's hard to sell tickets in Oakland when you already told the city you're moving. So you've got problems. That's why you agreed to Hard Knocks. Al Davis is rolling over in his grave. His son, as the owner, is giving over power to a head coach, for one. They got a player who's doing whatever the hell they want to. Meanwhile, Al paid Marcus Allen and sat him on the bench because that's how real he was about discipline. Like, man, father your sons, man. Don't let your sons grow up to have that hair and no backbone. Like, things can look real bad for your legacy, bro. Like, and Al Davis is one of the owners I actually respect at a certain level. You know what I mean? One of the few.
He's a gangster.
Rest of
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man, as usual. And hopefully we will wrap to you next week so we can talk about what happened in week 1. What's going on.
All day.
All right, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.
All right, you too. All right, we got Jimmy in New York. Been waiting a while. Sorry about that, Jimmy. You're in the war room.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I just like to say people like to complain about the football players and think they know what they go through on the daily basis. Like, the thing is, being a football player, it ain't an easy thing. Like, there's injuries, there's bills, there's everything. Like, after a celebration and everything, we go to the locker room, hang out. Like, it's not all fun and games, I can tell you that. Like, have any of you ever been to a Super Bowl locker room party?
No, I have not.
Well, the thing is, even the players with injuries try to party it out as best as they can, but the medication can only go so far. Like, the last one I went to, it sounded like this.
Hey, look. Every sound. I need some fun, yo.
Yeah. All right, shout out to Jimmy.
Yo.
That is some tough trouble.
Anyway.
Only some buzz, yo.
I was about to tell him, like, yeah, man, I was reading this thing about Rob Gronkowski and how he was crying and all of that after they just won a Super Bowl, but then I'm figuring out, Jimmy was calling us the clown. We had Rob on the line from Mountain Cali. He's gone. All right, Rob, holla. All right, so before we get into some other stuff, because we are, as usual, we always run over on stuff that we don't really want to talk about that long. The quote of the week, man. The quote of the week.
Quick.
Uh-huh.
I'll ask you a question real quick, and it has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. But I didn't watch the most recent episode of Snowfall, but like the way my social media is set up, nobody ruined it, but everybody just keep putting like holy-ish Snowfall or with the F Snowfall. Was it really that good, cuz?
Yeah. It was a very surprising ending to this episode.
Was it like cliffhanger-ish or something?
I guess you can call it. I'm like, I don't know if I would describe it that way. I really
I gotta
put it like this.
I gotta get into it because everybody's going crazy on my timeline on every meet.
Right, the ending to this episode was more like a season finale, and I don't think the season finale is until next week or something like that. So you okay, how they gonna do this next week? But I have.
I got to get my bag.
My thought on what it could be. So when you catch up, let me know. No, but I told you earlier. I was actually upset that I watched it because usually I like Snowfall so much. You know, it's like crack, no pun intended. But I be fiending, but I try to let, maybe 3 or 4 episodes go by. So when I do watch it, I could just sit home alone, watch it, and binge for a little while. This episode is probably, I probably got that feeling the most. Like, damn it, I shouldn't watch that because I want to, you know what I'm saying? You immediately, you want to know right now what's happening in the next episode, and you got to wait a week. So I probably should have just waited.
So that joint,
let social media blow up, ignore it, and then watch them both next week.
That joint is the opposite of Power.
Power is powerless right now. Power on some low voltage right now, man. I don't know what they doing.
That joint is like a tub of feces. And by the way, real quick, before you give the last point, that Wu-Tang series is absolutely fire. There's only 3 episodes up so far. I heard they're going to drop 3 and then drop like 1 a week or something like that, but it's fire.
Are they dropping them anywhere else after the fact? Because I don't have Hulu yet. I was going to wait till I could bundle it with the Disney joint.
So. I don't even think so. Get you a free trial, my G.
All right, so no, I might have to do that, but I'll wait till all the episodes are out so I can watch it all at once.
There you go.
All right, so quote of the week, and this is back into the world of basketball. It's the NBA. This is Kobe Bryant talking about load management. So he was asked about load management. He said, "What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. That's crazy. You've got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to watch you perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking ish." Those are the words of one Kobe Bean Bryant when asked about load management. Do y'all agree with that?
I semi-agree. I understand the whole idea because it kind of harkens back to the point that Naj made, and coaches are thinking about the big picture. So I get it, but also get Kobe's point too. But here's the one thing that's bothered me about retired Kobe Bryant. Retired Kobe Bryant is bothering me a little bit, right? And I hate to say this because I'm a Lakers guy and I love Kobe, but pause that. But it's like as I watch Kobe in retirement and watch Mike in retirement, it kind of like shows me the difference between those two cats, right? Because Kobe does not that he has to do it, but he does a lot of telling us how great he was, right?
Tough talk.
And a lot of tough talk, a lot of telling us how great he was and how he did this. When the difference is Mike doesn't do that. Mike let everybody else tell you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Kobe is constantly out there every week telling us how hard he worked and how he was all about this. And
you know what, though?
When you hear about Mike, it's from other people.
We also talked about this before, and this could be the reason why. Kobe might do that because he feels like he has to. I mean, we've already seen conversations go on for the last year and a half where he's already starting to be forgotten. You know what I'm saying? So, it is corny to have to toot your own horn, but he might be put in a position right now where he has to toot his own horn because cats forgot real quick. Like, they just skipped over him. The argument ain't even about him.
It's like the greatest cat. Like, I've never heard Hakeem Olajuwon tell me how great he is because Robert Horry is out there singing his praises anytime he gets his camera in front of his face. Like, he got his own publicist out there. Like, Kobe need to like hire Trevor Ariza or somebody to go out there and talk to him. He coming
I'm
off.
about to say that's the thing though. Kobe doesn't have teammates. At least the teammate that he probably was closest with, cat like Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher thinks he's that good. Like Derek Fisher thinks he's way better than he really was. So he's not going to be out there blowing anybody else up. But you're right. He needs himself like a Robert Horry or somebody like that. But he doesn't have that. Kobe, cats ain't like him all like that. Kobe actually gets more. He actually gets more Koloff from his competitors. But like you said, they have to be asked. Cats like Robert Horry just go out there and call off Olajuwon for no reason. Just to spite somebody else.
Robert Horry is Robert Horry played with Kobe. Robert Horry played with Kobe, Shaq, and Duncan, but for some reason he's Olajuwon's agent. Like he played with Duncan. He played with Duncan, and he said that
he played with them with Olajuwon at a young age. He probably was the most impressionable. So
he is Olajuwon's. He's Olajuwon's de facto publicist. And the thing
you remember
about
that
Mike
time?
is, this is also
they were talking about somebody else, and he just started dogging him, talking about how Olajuwon probably was Tim Duncan, his own teammate. It was. He just came at Tim's neck like, he can't deal with Hakeem though.
He said I played with him, and he's not on the same planet as Olajuwon. I was like, damn. But the thing is though. What's crazy about it is like, I got my Mike slander, and I love slandering Mike, but I got to give Mike credit for that. Like, Mike doesn't do that, and Mike has dudes that absolutely hate him tell you how good he is. Like, his own teammates hated him, but they still tell you, like, yo. Right. And to me, that, like, and maybe you're right, Kobe feels like he has to, but it just comes off like, I just get sick of it. Like, dude, like, we get it. Like, you don't have to come on TV and tell us how hard you worked every day. Like, let somebody else do it.
I mean, plus you can easily manipulate the media. I mean, Kobe could put a word in and for somebody to bring something up where his old competitors have to say something. He just got to learn how to manipulate the media so he doesn't have to do it himself. Because we know damn well, Brian is a media expert. So Brian knows what to do.
But think about this, though. Think about all the other greats.
If he needed a steam stroked.
Think about all the other greats that played during our time, right? Like, Larry Bird doesn't toot his own horn. Like, Magic doesn't toot his own horn because he's too busy tooting Bird's horn, pause, or maybe not.
That's what I'm saying. That's the thing.
Mike doesn't do it.
Everybody got an advocate. So they don't.
Yeah, man.
I mean, but even in their cases, I mean, they just don't feel the need to have to care. I guess Kobe just can't get over it. But even cats like Bird.
I think that's
like,
what bothers me. I think that's what bothers me.
These days who didn't even see Bird play, but they say stuff like what Zeke and Rodman said when he was in the league. Like, you hear a lot of people saying Larry Bird was overrated because he's white. You ever seen him play? No, but I saw highlights. That's even worse. If you saw highlights of Bird and you think he was overrated because he's white, that's even worse than if you saw him.
I think that's what bothers me. I think that's what bothers me is that he comes off like he feels like he can't just let things be. Like, Kobe hasn't given us enough time to actually miss him. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't been retired long enough for him to be out and about talking about how great he was himself at this point. Like, he hasn't given a chance to be like, to miss him, actually.
Yeah, but Mike, who he wants to be like the most in life, Mike left in 98 and, was still the center of conversation for a long time after. Kobe like, damn, I left like a year ago and they already skipping over me. His cat's out here talking about Dwayne Wade was better than me. So, I don't know.
Dog, that's because of the times we live in, though. Like, yo, we on to the next thing extremely fast. Like, Bron is about to be old news soon.
Zion. No, I don't think Zion gonna be able to hold it.
Yo, Zion gonna be trash.
Yeah.
all that tanking for Zion, and my man gonna average like 11 and 6.
I think because of his athleticism, he has to average at least 9 boards. Just because
he don't average 10 boards. Although his athleticism, watch, I guarantee by the end of the first season, he ain't gonna be able to jump no more.
I was about to say the thing. Even if he turns out not to be that good, he'll be the type of dude that won't be considered a fool. Well, they're going to consider him a bust because of the hype. The hype is real, but he'll be able to stick in the league and still be coveted because he's going to be a walking double-double. But like you said, if he loses he already walks like he had knee replacement last week, or at least needs it. If he loses that.
First of all, how you gonna get that flat-footed jump shot off in the league? I don't see it. That's one. Two, he gonna be like Kenyon Martin. People forget, when Kenyon Martin was in college, he had extreme bunnies.
Scott, you said the only people that big ups Kobe are Lakers fans, though. No, that's not true, but but they, they definitely ride for Kobe. But
listen, I like the
and the people who don't, though,
I'm being objective in saying that.
Yeah, it's mostly personal.
I'm being objective when I say that, Skyview, because it just bothers me. Like I love to watch the legends when they I love the little round tables they used to do, like the NBA round table joint they do on NBA TV. I like all that, but I love when other legends big up the legends. Like to see somebody out there that played at his caliber constantly just telling us how great they were.
He needs to sit around and do interviews with Tracy McGrady more. Tracy be on his wood.
Or Gilbert.
Yeah. That's why he just needs to do.
He needs to go on Gilbert's podcast.
Let them talk.
Yo, he needs to hire Smush Parker. I'm pretty sure Smush can use a check right now. Hire Smush Parker. Go around and be my publicist. Smush hate his guts, though.
All right, so stat of the week. This is it sounds crazy, but what can you do? Joe Ingles, who's going to make $11.95 million in the NBA this season, will make the same amount of money as all the WNBA players combined. So basically, their whole league has a payroll of $11.9 million. Joe Ingles, who's, by NBA standards, that's a pretty low salary. He's going to make the same amount of money as all of them combined. That definitely sounds crazy. We've talked about this issue and why it's impossible for them to expect to be paid like NBA players. But this might be borderline ridiculous. And where the hell is B. Austin? Because his microphone is on and I ain't heard Bo in 20 minutes.
Yo, I don't know. I think you got kidnapped. But yo,
it's
I got another quick stat of the week for you, Dev, that I just read and I found this interesting. A study was done and they found out that this past year, actually the end of 2018, was the first year in over 30 years that high school sports participation has decreased across the country.
Damn.
There's less people playing sports across all sports. And the reason I read it, I was reading a report about
now, is it high school age or is it just for high school schools in particular? The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of these kids are starting to put all of their apples, especially in basketball realm, into the AAU basket. So some of these dudes don't even care about playing on their high school teams anymore because that's not what's going to get them to the next level. So that's why I asked that, because that could be separated.
Yeah, well, it's across all sports, and it's like a check of they do it every year of high schools across the country. How many people are participating in the various sports? So it's across the board. Less people are playing football, basketball, baseball. Less people playing all sports, but there's an increase in the whole. What they think it is esports, because esports is taking off to the point people would rather compete in front of their screen than actually go outside.
I was about to say, because you can be an athlete while sitting on your ass. You can be an athlete.
I mean, when the dude who just won Fortnite made more than the person. Yo, I saw that the U.S. Open winner made less than the boy that won the Fortnite jump.
Well, according to what the stat we just read, the Fortnite boy make almost a third of what the WNBA makes. The whole thing. So
yeah, how about that? Damn, how about that?
This boy make almost a third of what all WNBA players made in one tournament.
Yo, he makes a third of a professional basketball player who has to get up and basically live that life every day, all day.
Every day, from 3 years old to 40. And just want to give a quick shout out to Michael Lorenzen of the Cincinnati Reds for becoming the first player since Babe Ruth in 1921 to hit a home run, play center field, and earn the win as a pitcher in the same game. And, of course, he did it against our Philadelphia Phillies, FOH.
Put me in, coach. I'm
so
ready
real quick,
to play.
man, we got to fly through these grind topics so we can get these picks in. But y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com. Just while you're there, you know the drill. Take your time, look around. But if you want to talk to us about any of these NFL well, basically, if you want to call in and tell us who's going to win the Super Bowl this year, give us your picks. You know, this is the time to do that. So give us a call, 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from the phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. But let's fly through this grind time. I would have just skipped them, but it's at least
I'm laughing.
one or two that I want to.
I'm laughing at Casey Mack. Casey Mack said in the chat that for the group chat that all somebody got to do is bring up them rape allegations. Maybe Kobe will shut up.
Probably.
Dang, he bodied him.
Yeah, he bodied him. Crazy.
Bodied him. Anyway, man. Let's talk about what happened this past week while you were on the grind, which is brought to you by Sports the Book. Bottom line, best sports book ever written. Go to sportsthebook.com or go to our hub of warroomsports.com and get the book. But
read that ish.
Talk about what happened.
Talk about them.
You know what I mean? Shot that robbed me from 212. Yo, JaVale McGee's home was robbed while he was on family vacation in Hawaii. Man. That's ugly that y'all crib right while you on vacation.
Right. The funny part about it is, you know, because his family, his older cousin, is a very good friend of ours, and I knew that they were on this vacation because it was like a whole, you know, McGee family vacation. There was a lot of live videos and all of that kind of stuff coming from it. And I was sitting there like, man, it's kind of difficult because we had that conversation in the chat the other day about, you know, how we handle stuff when we go out of town. But, you know, there's nobody really, you know, I don't have JaVale McGee money, so people not really looking to run up in my crib just because they know that I'm not home. But it's also crazy that in a world of transparency, which is why a lot of times, you know, I pull some of my friends to the side like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't post that, maybe you shouldn't post this. And hope that they would do the same for me. I know Jimmy and I do that for each other at times. Because in a world of transparency where everybody's just trying to be friendly, well, some people be trying to stunt. But but everybody's just trying to be transparent. A lot of the stuff, like even the stuff that I've said to you, I mean, that goes, all of that stuff revolves around your business. But it's like some stuff people are going to look at, and they're only going to look at it as some personal stuff. But, you know, this is a family. They were having a good time. All the videos I saw, everybody's dancing on the beach and all that kind of stuff. And then you hear this.
I saw them because I saw you know, because, you know, same people on the gram, they was getting it in. I was like, then they having a ball.
Right,
you know,
right.
Then saw this story. I'm like, ooh, that's ugly.
And by some of the messages I saw going towards him on the thing, I think maybe he might have did that. Like he might have took the whole family to Hawaii, you know, little end of the summer vacation, which is a great thing to do. And then this kind of stuff happens. So the story goes, you know, while he was out of town, somebody broke into his house, of course. He was robbed of at least $200,000 in cash and jewelry and one of his championship rings. Because he has two, I believe, with the Warriors. For some reason, they only stole one of them. Like, the way that some of this stuff goes down, you kind of think it's somebody that may have been in his house before. Like, certain things they didn't take. They knew exactly where to go and take stuff.
Check that cousin who left vacation early.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. But shout out to, first of all, the McGee family and the homie. This is an unfortunate situation for JaVale, man. I hope.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't want this to, because, you know, this is an honest situation, but I was about to say, I hope maybe Golden State does something nice and, remakes the ring for him. But if they start that precedence, then Cat's going to be out there like, yo, I lost my ring.
Yo, Cat's going to be setting the jukes up. The jukes going to be set up like, yo, I ain't got that, John.
Yeah, they're going to be selling them
my
drinks
thing is
and
this, man. Like,
shout out to JaVale,
it's funny because I was thinking about this when I saw the story because, I'm out of town often. And I'm like, yo, I be drawn when I'm out of town because I always post pictures. One of the only times I generally post on social media is like sometimes when I'm like out. But that's
when I'm out of town, all I'm really
places
posting
and showing things.
But if I'm posting food,
me and you
I
both,
must be
dog.
out of town because it ain't the regular ish that I'm
Yeah, you gotta
home.
show that food, dog. You can't show the food.
I just want everybody to know.
You can't show the food.
When I go out of town, we always leave somebody in the crib. And you know what I mean? My father-in-law.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he got a lot of guns.
I laughed about it.
Y'all don't
that's
want
the
that
point.
work.
That's the actual point I was getting to. The point I was getting to, I actually thought about it. And I was telling my wife, I was like, it's crazy because somebody can break her head, they can't really take nothing. Like the way the world is set up these days, I'm so digital. Shout to Funk Flex, but I'm so digital. Like I don't have books, movies. I don't keep cash in the house. Like I don't wear jewelry. I got a smartwatch. So you break your head, you ain't really gonna get nothing. You want to get TV? Go ahead. Like TV don't cost that much no more.
Break in there and try to mine your cryptocurrency. They gotta find a computer to do that.
Yeah, like what you gonna do? Everything's in the cloud these days, dog. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
like,
digital.
I'm more
They're
worried
gonna
about.
have to just cut everything
I'm more
off
worried about cybersecurity.
Right. If I wasn't, if I happen to not leave somebody house sitting, like I'm gonna watch you the whole time. So.
Pretty much, that too. Cameras all set up. I'm like, what you
I'm gonna turn the lights on and scare the hell out of you so you can run out. Like,
somebody will break my crib and steal all my toiletries.
Yeah,
come back with no toilet tissue and deodorant.
I'm about to invent something, man. I'm about to get like digital guns in the ceiling, in the walls and the ceiling.
Yo, so you press the button by mistake while you trying to watch Snowfall.
I know. Light your ass up.
Hit yourself.
Light yourself up. Somebody hit the button by mistake.
Hit the button. Slammy gonna come lay you out.
Yeah, that ain't no good.
All you gotta do is set up one of them like speaker joints where somebody breaking in, you start talking to them like, no, dog. Yo, because I have an uncle, right?
I'd be like, you're in the wrong closet. The money over
I have an uncle. Like everybody don't. But one of my uncles like leaves his car door unlocked every night, and I'd be like, yo, you crazy? He'd be like, look, if somebody gonna steal it, they're gonna steal it. But he's like, I don't leave nothing in the car, and I don't want to have to pay for someone breaking the glass just to find out I don't have nothing.
Yeah, he's like, just open it up and look. But some people are petty. They'll open it up, look, nothing's in there, and then they'll break something just because they're mad that you didn't have anything.
Yeah, man. I know a boy back in the day when cats used to get stuck up for their jackets. He got shot like that because he ain't had nothing, and the boy got so mad that he was broke, he shot him anyway.
Yeah,
but that's either here or there, man.
You gotta be hard up to shoot somebody because they don't have something. All right,
yo, back in the day, because cats don't relate to that, but cats used to get robbed for their sneaks and jackets. That was like part of life.
Oh no. All right, so what happened while we was on the ground? Because we literally have like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, man, Lonzo Ball,
just want to bar Lonzo down about his kids.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball, yo, be awesome. I hope you safe, good brother. But Lonzo Ball, man, he came out and basically was like, yo, my old sneaks is trash because my manager had to carry around several pairs because they rip every quarter. So he really kikiing right now in his feelings. And is letting the hammer go.
He's telling his pop. I'm sure his pop like, yo, why are you doing interviews telling people this? Because, his dad, like if you watch their little Facebook show, his dad still has dreams of making this brand take off. I think he thinks, because Lonzo, we all know the reports that he, quote unquote, is stepping away from the brand. I think LeVar thinks that he can get him back involved in it. I mean, but he also knows that without Zoe, like there is no brand. He ain't got the bread to even do anything. But yeah, Zoe, these $495 shoes, you telling us that the boy Demo had to carry like 4 pairs per night because they ripped every quarter. And said that some of his playing deficiencies were due to the shoes that he was wearing. He said he spoke to the dude Allen when he was still with the company. Because he was telling Allen, like, yo, I'm not going to wear these no more, man. I'm going to just wear something else. It was Allen's idea for him to wear different brands every night because he was like, okay, if you're not going to wear them, I don't want you to just promote one brand. So if you're gonna do that, then do that for me. Wear some Nikes this night, wear some Adidas that night, blah blah blah. So remember that time early in his career when he kept switching up? That was because Allen told him to do that because his Zo2s that were $495 retail were Trizash.
And watching Lonzo interview, and I watched some of his interviews with Big Boy. It's like he was so much more likable when he just didn't talk and his father did all the talking.
Now he coming off as a little
sometimes
cocky, a little arrogant, and
hasn't
proven that he needed to be that way.
Kind of stupid. Like, sometimes it's best like this to keep your mouth shut because then nobody know you a fool when you quiet. You know what I mean? And
the future is better than Nas comments. Like, just keep your mouth shut so we don't know.
And I wasn't even bringing that. I'm just saying about in general, like his whole persona, his whole hate the word, but his whole swag is like
different swag.
Like, he just
cornball, brother. At least not in the arena that we know you from. And I'm an advocate. Like I'm always telling people, I think Lonzo is a good player and will be a very good player.
He talking. Dog, he talk heavy. He talk like he already got 4 or 5 MVPs, like 10 All-Star appearances. You would think that he's one of the top 10 players in the league the way he talks in interviews.
I guess they all have some LeVar in them somewhere. You just had to bring it out.
Exactly. Then again, like as you said, how about that? Like that's who was, he talk heavy though. Anyway, man, Inspired Change. Shout to Inspired Change, you know what I mean? And all the Sickle fans that love Inspired Change. They donated $400,000.
They didn't love it before.
They donated $400K to the Chicago youth groups. The greatest thing about Inspired Change and the Jay-Z partnership to me is just all the headlines, because it's just further proof that people think you're stupid. The headlines be drawn, and headlines really don't say exactly what the story is saying, but, shout out to headline writers out there.
Right, because all of the headlines for that story are saying Rock Nation and the NFL donate $400,000. And the funny thing about it is a lot of people are posting it because it was on a lot of hip-hop websites. If you notice, a lot of these links are like The Source, Hip-Hop DM, X, whatever that joint is, but it's a lot of hip-hop sites, Complex, places like that are posting it. And then a lot of the people who are reposting it, they don't give a damn about the kids in Chicago. They're posting it as see, we told you Jay-Z was going to do something. People are forgetting because the headline says Rock Nation and the NFL donate this, which would make no sense anyway because the NFL is paying Rock Nation for a service. So why would they be getting together on some philanthropy, some donations? Inspire Change, when you actually read the articles, that's where the money is coming from. This is the initiative created by Malcolm Jenkins, Anquan Bolden, and the Players Coalition, in which they were called sellouts for getting that money earmarked for these particular causes. But now that they're actually doling out some of the money publicly, the NFL, like they knew what they were doing from jump, they're going to have these headlines come out with the superstar because they want to get more attention for the donations. Because think about it, Jim, we hadn't heard anything about the Players Coalition and the Inspire Change Initiative donations that were going out prior to the whole Jay-Z thing, but we never heard about any of them. But now you have somebody that can drive media. So when you actually do a donation, no matter how big or how small, everybody's going to hear about it. But the only thing is, they're giving people credit for these donations who really have nothing to do with that money. Bottom line, the NFL is giving that money. And the other part of the bottom line is the Players Coalition are the ones who made the deal to earmark that money for these causes. But now all you see is people who are trying to defend Jay-Z. Jay-Z gave $400,000. No, he didn't. Y'all so gullible.
I gotta credit Jay-Z. When I hear this story, I gotta credit Jay-Z because Jay-Z, I'll give him credit for this. Mel has done something that he's the GOAT of leveraging himself.
Is he?
What I mean by that is like he leveraged being Jay-Z to do so many amazing things like on a business side that I gotta give him credit for that. Like the leverage of saying, yo, this is me. now you going to give me this equity, or you going to do this, do that. It's sort of like a story that was in I forgot which publication had it, but it was online. I read it nonetheless. It was talking about his wife and how she be leveraging writing credit to her songs. Like, yo, I'm gonna let you write the song, but you're gonna give me a certain percentage of it. Yeah, and if you don't, then you're not gonna write a song for me. Like, and I didn't even get mad at that. I'm like, yo.
Isn't that kind of why she and Carrie Hilson were beefing a little bit, because she got credit for stuff that Carrie Hilson had written, something like that?
But the thing is, that Carrie Hilson, you gonna take 50% of a Beyonce song or 100% of Janet Down the Block? Like, what you gonna do? Make your choice.
He definitely to go to that though, because he in a lot of stuff like Jason, he has such little equity in some stuff that he does, but becomes the face of it. And that's amazing in itself. Jay-Z was social media marketing before there was social media marketing. You know what I mean? Like, now people get paid this amount of money to tweet because of who you are. Jay-Z was real tweeting on y'all before there was social media.
Yo, but I don't even knock him for that. Like, a lot of people knock him like he only owned 0.2%. I'm like, yo, but he leveraged that to do other stuff. Because he got
and it was also enough to make y'all think that he owned the whole thing. So it really don't matter.
He plays the long game, dog. He plays the long game, and I got to give him credit for that. Because I don't listen. Watching this whole thing, I have my opinions on both sides. You know, as your president would say, there's good people on both sides. But I have my opinion on both sides. But at the end of the day, like, I find this hilarious to me now. Like, yo, Malcolm Jenkins, man, like, how's he feel?
Right. And I just found that out. Like, he was another one that was a little skeptical of that partnership. And I would have thought that they had something to do with the partnership, since they were throwing around the Inspire Change initiative, with Jay-Z's name. So I figured they were all in cahoots. I read today that the Players Coalition didn't even know about this. So the NFL basically, okay, we're going to bring in this superstar and tie him to the initiative that you created, but we don't feel a need to meet with you guys and at least tell you about how we're about to Brody your whole situation. So, it's very interesting to see how everything's playing. I think the more I learn about this whole thing, the worse it kind of looks. But hey, like, whatever.
Because to me, it comes off to
as
me
long
like
as the youth in Chicago and other
things.
places are getting something out of it, I'm happy.
It's like they're trying to cover up. Like, it's sort of like, man, it's weird because it's like things come out, people have a reaction, and it's like they're trying to cover up for the reaction, but it's like they're seemingly making things worse.
Right. All right. Well, we'll talk about it more. We got like 10 minutes, and we got to make these picks for the season. Quick birthday shout out. Nazi Muhammad turns 42 today. Dennis 3D Scott is 51 years old. I swear Dennis Scott has like 3 birthdays per year. Like, you don't remember me giving Dennis Scott birthday shout outs like last month and like 6 months before that? Dennis Scott, like, I guess that's why they call him 3D. I don't know. Willie
3D,
Galt. That's a blast from the past. Willie Galt, Tecmo Bowl. Shout out to Kev. Skyview. I know Willie Galt, probably one of your favorites. He turns 59. And we want to give an RIP shout out to Dennis from the Temptations' daddy. As you all know, he died a long time ago this week. To be exact, the 3rd of September.
When my daddy died.
Yeah, the 3rd of September. It was a day you all remember, because that was the day.
Yo, man, rest in peace, Daddy, man. Daddy got a bad rap,
Papa. Papa was a Rolling Stone. The bad part about it is when he died, all they left him was alone. So we want to give a birthday shout out and a rest in peace death day shout out to Dennis's daddy. Salute to everybody. Yay! All right, real quick, we can't take any more calls because it's like less than 10 minutes left. We got to get this in. NFL rap. Let's rap about it real quick. Let's just give out these predictions for the season, and we can start with the actual individual awards. Pain.
Yo,
you want me to go first on this?
Though,
I don't know where the hell be off in this.
No, real quick though. I just want to say this is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies, digitalextremetech.com or 267-205-4203. But now we can get into this, man. I mean, how you just want to run down each thing, or you want to go like
let's run down the individual awards. I'll do one, you do yours, and then we'll do the conferences and the Super Bowl and all that stuff. So Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year, I probably pick him damn near every year. I'm going with Fat Andy, man. I think the Chiefs, they had a very difficult ending to last season. So even though they're so talented, I think it's hard mentally to get these dudes back up to the point where they want to do this all over again. I'm going to go with Andy Reid on that because I think he'll get it done. Comeback Player of the Year, I'm going to give that to Le'Veon Bell. He lost a lot of money in the process, but he's going to come get it back. Defensive Rookie of the Year, man. I don't want to, but I'm going to have to go with the MAGA master, Nick Bosa. He's going to be out there making America great again. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. I'm not going to go with Kyler Murray. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. I think he's going to get a lot of touches in that backfield. He's going to put up some numbers. Defensive Player of the Year, man, I want to go with Aaron Donald because it's like, I'm going to keep doing that until proven otherwise. I'm going to go with the youngster in Cleveland, man. Myles Garrett is going to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield this year. So I'm going to go with Myles Garrett over Aaron Donald. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley. And MVP, I'm going with a repeat. I think the young buck Mahomes is going to do it again, and I need him to do it again because he's on my fantasy team. So let's go get that MVP again, Pat Mahomes. Who you got, Jim?
Yo, this is fire because we don't have none of the same picks in anything. Because I didn't want to. All right, here's my thing. Coach of the Year. All right, this is going to sound crazy, but I got Frank Reich from the Colts. Right, I really feel like everybody's looking down on him right now. I'm about to say, their situation
sets him up nice. That's a good pick.
Yo, I think they're going to end up, and we're going to get into this, I think they're going to sneak and win the division, and I think Jacoby Brissett's going to have a good season. But that's either here nor there. Comeback Player of the Year.
He got a bag lately. After Bull retired, he got a bag. Carson?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carson Wentz for the Comeback Player of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going with Devin Bush. I think he's going to have an amazing season.
I like it.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, David Montgomery.
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year, right? So, Defensive Player of the Year, I wanted to go Khalil Mack, but that was kind of like a little safe, but I'm going to go with Von Miller.
Okay, Von.
Offensive Player of the Year, who I think is going to have an amazing season. Is going to be the key to this team and what they do in the season. I'm going with Alvin Kamara. And MVP, although the Offensive Player of the Year is Alvin Kamara, I think the MVP is going to be Drew Brees.
So that means they're going to be out there destroying cats again. That don't sound fun for people who root for teams in the NFC, like myself. Now, we both did the same thing on the Defensive Player of the Year. I think if you go Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald, you're definitely playing it safe. I just wanted to do something different. So I'm going to go with the youngster. Yeah. You going with Von. All right, so our picks in the AFC, the division winners. I'm going Patriots in the East, Steelers in the North, not yet Browns, Texans in the South, Chiefs in the West. My two wild card teams are going to be the Chargers, and I will allow the Browns to sneak in as a wild card. The AFC Championship game matchup will be the Chiefs versus the Patriots in a rematch. But this time, I think the Chiefs are going to get past them and represent the AFC in Super Bowl, 54 we're on there? NFC East, I got the Eagles in the North. I got the Vikings in the South, and that's a surprise. Everybody's going Bears on that. I got the Vikings creeping back into playoff contention. In the South, I got the Saints. In the West, I got the Rams. Wild cards being the Bears and the Falcons. NFC Championship game, Eagles versus Saints. Super Bowl representative from the NFC, the Saints, which makes it Chiefs versus the Saints. And I got Fat Andy finally getting off the schneid and winning his first Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
Wow. Now, mine sounds crazy, right? Because all that I said about the Saints, and I don't even have them winning the division. I got the Eagles winning the NFC East. I also have the Vikings winning the North. I got the Panthers actually winning their division, right? And then in the NFC West, I had the Seahawks winning. My wild card teams are going to be.
Before you finish, when you had the Panthers up there, I did the in-depth preview with Fred on Cover 2. I had like it sounds crazy. I had the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons all kind of finishing with like a 10-6 record. Mathematically, I don't even know if that's possible, but that's what I had, and I just had the Saints getting the division just strictly off of tiebreakers.
Yo, I got the Saints being a wild card team. I got the Saints being a wild card team, and I got the Rams being a wild card team. In the NFC Championship game, I had the Saints coming from the wild card, making it to the NFC Championship game to play the Vikings. And I had the Saints beating the Vikings to go to the bowl. In the AFC, right, the East, I got the Patriots. Funny thing is, that's the easiest one every year. Like, as soon as we do this, I just go to the Patriots and write Patriots in. Like, that's the easiest one. AFC North, I got the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to have an amazing year. I think it's going to be like addition by subtraction with Brown gone and Le'Veon gone. I think they're going to get back to playing quote-unquote Steelers football, and I think we'll have an amazing season. I got the Colts.
They're going to have a chip on their shoulder from all of this disrespect about the Cleveland Browns.
Yep. I think Big Ben is going to have one of his best seasons. I got the Colts winning the AFC South. In the AFC West, I got the Broncos winning, and that's not a homer pick, by the way. I think that what you said actually played in my head. I had the Chiefs making the playoffs, but the way they went out, like with your man lining up off sides, like
they're going to need another MVP season, like my pick, and they're going to need a Coach of the Year season to get back to that. It's difficult.
I'm just taking it. I'm just thinking that either the dude's going to take a next step and be like the next great quarterback, or he, sometimes after having a season like that, you may take a step backwards. We'll see, though.
I drank that fantasy Kool-Aid.
And I'm also putting the Browns in as a wild card. AFC Championship game, I have the Patriots versus the Steelers. And I got the Steelers beating the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. So I have Steelers and the Saints in the bowl, and I have the Steel Curtain. I have Steelers winning the Super Bowl.
All right. So what's that? 7. And shout out to Meek Mill, who's live right now, performing at the NFL game. Shout out to Rock Nation and Jay-Z because they make everything happen. I guess Meghan Trainor is going to come out and perform as well.
Yo, man. Listen, man.
Are they selling the shirts?
That's all I got to say, man.
They selling the apparel, the Inspired Change apparel? Yo, we selling social justice shirts. Jay told y'all. Everything that happens as far as Jay-Z is concerned, he told you everything from 1994 on in his music. I will sell water to a well.
Listen,
he's gonna sell social justice t-shirts.
There's Jay-Z has so much content. There's literally a Jay-Z line that's applicable to everything that happens in life.
Everything.
Everything he does and everything everybody does. There's a line that you can apply to it because he put out that much poetry. But at the end of the day, man,
Jay-Z to me, he's a Seinfeld of rappers. I think to me, it's a Seinfeld moment that you can equate with every moment in life. But
yo, man, thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to B. Austin wherever he went. I hope he free B. Austin, y'all. Yo, free B. Austin. I think the pigs got him. Yeah. Yo, he just bouncing on us. Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, our group chat. The calls who called and got through, we appreciated those we couldn't get to. We apologize. Special thanks to Gus Griffin for giving us his segment as well. Although Tobias slandered everything Gus said. Tune in next week, live right here on demand as we review NFL Week 1 and preview Week 2 and catch you up on everything happening around the world of sports. So until then, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the start of next week. And we'll see you here next week. Be sure to catch our conversations, everything we do, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our blogs, our webcast, network podcast. Everything can be found at the hub, which is warroomsports.com. Also, get my book, Sports to Book, at sportstobook.com or back on the hub of warroomsports.com. But until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Welcome to the war room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. How you wanna end a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level? Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.